myself Santosh, and currently I'm working as manager in Microsoft, taking training for KSR for the last 5 years.
In the last class, we have completed variables. Now, variables is a first step in order to learn your coding, and that is what we have done. Okay. Now, if you want to open Jupyter Notebook again, don't go and open Anaconda, not required. You can directly open Jupyter Notebook. You can directly open Jupyter Notebook. Okay, you need not go and open Anaconda. Just go and click Jupyter Notebook, and automatically the session gets started, and you will be taken into this file. Okay, so last modified, if you see the one which yesterday we have worked, Python variables, and this is the one which we have yesterday practiced. We talked about certain assignments, and here like we have talked about variables, the 5 points which you need to remember about variables, and then we went with all these small examples. Okay, now let's talk about another small concept, and then again I'll be talking more on this as well, but let's start with some basics. Python basics. Okay, so let's start with some basics. Now, first thing, okay, let's see, when you see someone, the first thing which you do is you will greet them, right? You will greet them. So let me greet them. Good evening. Okay, good evening, Kiran, right? Good evening, Kiran. Now I'm greeting Kiran. Now again I'll greet Anand. So again I have to go and write Anand. Again I have to go and greet Karthik, and again I have to go and greet Rajiv. Now I'm greeting all these people, right? I'm greeting all these people. Now one thing which I need to understand is we have 50 people in this batch. Do you think I'll greet 50 times? Definitely no, right? So the best way is you greet it once, right? You write a logic for greeting, and then you can reuse it many times. Now that's the first thing which we need to go and fix it, right? Rather than greeting 50 times, if 50 people are there is no point in writing 50 print statements. The ideal way is you are learning a programming language. So let's make it as one time, write it one time, and call it as many times as possible, right? And that is what we are going to do as part of the today's session, correct? And let's go with another one, another use case. A equal to 9, B equal to 2, C equal to A plus B, print of C. Now I have to add two numbers. I have to add two numbers. Okay. Now I don't want to lose this. So again, I have to give another two numbers. I'll copy this code. I'll give 88 plus 12 and I'll enter. And again, I'll go and start. This time I'll make it as 5 and 12. Again, I'll go and run it. Now, main objective is to add two numbers. I've given A equal to some number, B equal to some number, C equal to A plus B, and print of C. Now, this is what I've been doing. I've done it for the first case where I need to wish for each and every one. The second case, I need to keep on adding the two numbers. How many numbers ever you give, you have to keep on adding it, correct? And that's a second use case. This is how we do in real time. The answer is no. The answer is no. Try to always write a code where you have to write it once and access it as many times as possible. Access it as many times as possible. Okay. Now, what I am going to write is we are going to learn concepts called functions. We're going to learn the concept of functions. Okay. Now, what is a function? Function. Okay. Function means write some logic, and please reuse it as many times as possible. Okay, so write some logic and you can write it as many times as you need. Now, this is what the basic definition of function. Let's explore by writing one small logic. The first thing is what I need is, I need to write a code where I have to greet people. Okay, I cannot keep on greeting Anand, Karthik, Rajiv, and there are 50 members. I cannot keep on greeting. everyone, right? So that is one thing. And another one which I need to tell is, whenever you're writing a greeting, it is actually a string, right? So please don't write like this, okay? It will not work. It will not work. You should always try to give quotes. For string, you need to give quotes. Anything you are giving as string, you need to give quotes. But my question is, should I give double quotes or should I give single quotes? Both will work. Both will work. This is double quotes. This is single quotes, right? So it's your wish. Give double quotes, give single quotes. Both will work. Okay. What is not allowed is, in one I'm giving double quotes and I'm writing here, and one I'm writing small here. Now this is not allowed. This is not allowed. Either you use completely double quotes or you use completely single quotes. I don't have any problem. But what I will not expect is, once you're giving double quotes, you have to end with double quotes. You cannot end with single quotes. This is something which is issue. But I would always prefer to use double quotes. You know why? You know why? For example, if I'm defining A equal to Santosh, this is correct. If I'm giving B equal to KSR or Data Vision, this is also correct. So either give single quotes or double quotes, it will work. But what you cannot give is, one side you give double quotes and you get write like this, and in the other side you just go and write single quotes. Now this is not allowed. This is not allowed. Okay, I'm okay with 15, I'm okay with 16, but I'm not okay with 17. A very common sense, where you start, where you end. But I always try to use double quotes. You know why? You know why? For example, if the statement itself, see what is happening. I have given quotes, right? But this is not actually ending of quotes. It's just India's best institute, right? So that's why it's actually not considering it, right? Now I need to write it. But if I want to write India's, it will actually mistake. Okay, it will actually mistake that it's the end of the statement. So in order to handle this, it's always better that you give double quotes and you end with double quotes. So even like this, it will work. This is my way of doing it. Rather than always giving single quotes, what if India's I is there, right? And for this type of handling this case, always try to make it very simple. Don't complicate yourself. Of course, here if I would have written a single quote just like a 15th line, maybe I would have faced an issue here because it is considering the end of the statement at this. But this is not the end of the statement. This is a continuation of the statement with a normal English word, but this is something which I need to correct it. So rather than doing all this, it's always give double quotes. Okay. Now, with all this, let's go back to the function. Let's go back to the function. Now, when I say function, it has to be written with a keyword called def. 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 For the entire coding, whatever we are learning, please don't ask me the question why. Please don't ask me the question why. The reason is, if I'm writing DEF, I am not writing on my own. This is something they have already designed. Okay. I'll give an example for this. I think most of you know this example. You're driving in a two-wheeler, right? And it's a main road and there is a signal. Okay, there is a signal. The moment red color is there, red signal is there, you'll apply your brakes and you'll stop your vehicle. There is a traffic police nearby. Have you ever asked, any of you, have you ever asked, getting down from vehicle and asking your traffic police, why it is red color? Why it is not blue color? Why it is not brown color? Why it is not yellow color? Have you ever asked this? Have you ever asked this? Why I have not asked? Why there's only red color? Why not different colors? It could be blue, right? For blue, you could have stopped it. Why for red you have to stop? Why you did not ask? Why? It is actually a protocol. So when I say protocol, it's a rules and regulation. So traffic police, traffic government of traffic, they have decided that red means you have to stop. You can never go and question them. You can never go and question why it is red, why it's not blue. They have designed it. You have to follow. You have to adhere to the rules and regulations. Well, coming to the Python again, you have to follow the rules and regulations. Don't ask me why it is DEF. DEF stands for define. DEF stands for define. Okay. So define greetings is actually the name of the function. So DEF is a define, and this is greeting is a name of the function. So don't ask me why it is not defined. Well, I don't have an answer for this. This is something they have already designed and we are just following it. So I will go and remove this. So this is called greeting as a function. Okay. Now, what I will do, rather than writing good morning, good evening, good morning, good evening, it's something which I always try to avoid it. So within this greeting, I'll go and write print statement. I'll write hello, good evening, thanks for joining. Okay, this message I have to tell for all 50 people. I have to tell for all 50 people, right? Now, what I need to do is here I need to send some name so that I can write it only this words, and this name is 50 people are there. So 50 people should come, right? So I will send a parameter called name. I'll send a parameter called name. So that means for name, whatever name you send for them, this wish will come. Okay. So I am going to give like this, and I'm going to call that name here. Okay. Now I've written few things which I'll be explaining every step one by one. Please listen carefully. Line number 19 is actually a function. Line number 19 is actually a function. In this function, what is happening? I have written only one simple print statement. Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining. Now, each and everyone who joins this class, I need to wish them. Okay, do you think I will write 50 times? Definitely no. What I am going to do, let's take, I have to wish Akash. I will simply go and say greeting. I'll simply go and say, and I'll say Akash. Let's see what is happening. It's greetings. See, nothing I've done. I have sent just the word Akash. Automatically, the complete message, good evening. Thanks for joining Akash. Okay, next. Greetings, Ashwini. Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining Ashwini. Am I writing the full statement? No, I have simply calling this function, and inside the function, I am sending the name. Let me tell you what it is happening now. The moment I'm calling this function, the one which is in blue color is a function name. So function name if I given, and if I send the Akash, this Akash will go and sit on top of this name. Whatever the name which I've given, this Akash will go and sit on top of that name. And once this function gets executed, each and every time I call this, that time the function gets executed, and immediately if I call this with the Akash name, the complete statement will be displayed. So this statement, the print statement, it will be completely displayed, and along with that, you will also be displaying the name of the person which you are sending. Now I'm sending Ashwini. So when I'm sending Ashwini, Ashwini will go and sit on top of this name, and it will go inside the function because I'm calling that function, and it is going to print hello, good evening, thanks for joining. Whatever name I've sent on the runtime will be going and displaying. Well, rather than writing 1, 2, 3, 4 print statements, well, now I played bit smart, writing only once and calling it as many times as possible. And this is called function. Function will always start with the keyword DEF. That means define, and then followed by every human being has a name, right? So every function will also have a name. So every function you write, you have to write a name. So I am writing the function name as greeting. And inside that, what you will send, I am sending as a name. So that name will be displayed. And since it's a function, I'm telling the system, Boss, this is a function name, and colon means something I'm writing the logic. So the next line after, when I say something like colon, I write something, right? For example here, chapter 1. Normally I'm writing chapter 1 and I write colon, correct? So, and then I go to the next line. Then I go and write chapter 2 colon, right? So just like that, I'm defining a function and I'm writing colon, and the next line I am writing, it's going to be the logic. The next line I'm going to write is going to be the logic, and that will be printed, right? Now, and one more thing which I need to tell you is this is a simple function, right? So since it's a beginning of Python, I'm taking a very simple example. Now let's go and rephrase this as well. Okay, let's go and rephrase this as well. Rather than writing like this every now and then, now first I'll write it for 1, I'll print it. Again, I'll write it like this. Again, I have to print it. And this is 9 plus 2. And this is 75 plus 22. So something I have to write, right? So I cannot keep on writing this piece of code again and again. So what I will do, I will go and replace it as a function. So let's go and write the first function. Let's go and write the first function. Okay. First, I'll write def define, right? Every function will start with define, and I'll say addition is the name of the function. Okay, addition is the name of the function, and then you will be sending some value x comma y. Some parameters I'll give x comma y. Then I'll put colon. I'll go here. Then I'll say z equal to x plus y. Okay. Then I'll write print of z. Now this is the addition logic what I have written. This is the addition logic what I have written. Okay. Now I will run it. Now what I will do, I will simply go and call this addition, and I'll pass the parameters 4 comma 5. 4 comma 5. 4 will go and sit here. 5 will go and sit here. 4 plus 5 will be calculated and it will be stored in the Z. And that Z is nothing but I am printing, and this is what will be the answer. If I want to do addition for another number, addition 74 comma 26. 74 will go and sit in the place of x. 26 will go and sit in the place of y. 74 plus 26 will be calculated and that value will be stored in the Z. That value I'm printing it, and that is what this addition will give you. Line number 27, you need not write again and again. Once you have written, that's final. If anyone who wants to use this function, directly go there and you can just send the number and automatically it will get calculated. Okay, so even if you write, even if you check for 100 numbers also, it will work. 17 comma 13, so you'll get 30. So whatever variables you are sending, that whatever numbers you are sending, it will go and sit in this place and it will calculate and then it will print, rather than going and writing how many times, 1 2 3. You need not write it. You simply call that function name, automatically it will work, right? And that's a very simple function what we have learned. So function is basically writing some logic and reusing it, and your function should always start with def keyword. Okay, and this is something which is used for repetitive task. I need to keep on doing it. I can go and write it once, call it as many times as possible. Okay, now let's go to the another example. Okay, what I will do, let's say a equal to 35. How many of you know value of this number? How many of you know this value of this number? 35. Such a very important number in your life. Everyone will aim for 35. 35 is a passing mark. I don't know about other degrees and all. I'm an engineering graduate. So in engineering graduate, getting 35 marks was really very, very hard. Always first we aim for 35. If I get 35, after that we'll see. I've seen a lot of people like crying for 99. We will be happy if we get 35. Correct? There is a huge difference between toppers and last benches, right? So toppers, shit, I lost 1 mark, I lost 2 marks, I lost 3 marks. I've seen a lot of people crying for 97 and 98. And I've also seen a lot of people enjoying and doing party for getting 35. Two set of peoples, right? Now, if this marks, A is a marks, I need to tell each and every person will give a marks. I need to tell whether you're pass or fail. That's my requirement. So in this case, it's a pass. So any person who is giving the value, right? I need to tell them whether is pass or fail. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. I've written A, right? I've written A. Then I will write some logic called if A greater than equal to 35, right? So it's something I'm writing. So I'll put colon and I'll write print statement. The student is pass. Okay. So if your number you're giving, right? Let's say you're giving 60. If 60 is a number, if 60 is a number, if 60 is greater than 35, the student is pass, right? Now, else print of the student is fail. The student is fail. Now I will give you the answer. So since the A is 60, the student is pass. Since A is 70, the student is pass. Since the student is 31, the student is fail. Okay. Now how to write all these logics? Okay. Before that, what I'll do, I'll go to my best friend. I'll go to my best friend. Who's my best friend? So I'll go to the best friend. Seems like best friend is not available. I demand, please hang tight. Okay. Let's try. So I'll just take sum of two numbers in Java. Code, please. Let me ask the code to ChatGPT. Sum of two numbers in Java, code, please. Seems like it is down. Okay, something has went wrong. So let's look for another friend. Who's another friend? Who's
Google
another
Deva.
friend?
Bard.
Bard. So let's go with Bard. Let's go with Bard. Okay. So I'll go and say sum of two numbers in Java, code, please. Something went wrong. What is this? All our friends are busy today. Surprising. Both tools are down at the same time. Okay, I got it. I got it. So here is a Java program that calculates the sum of two numbers using a scanner. So something I'm giving here, and I'm copying this code, and I'm going to my notepad. I'm going to my notepad. Right now, this is a code. I'll try to remove some extra lines. A simple code. Okay, a simple code, just a sum of two numbers. I have to write 19 lines to that execution in Java, right? Just a simple two numbers, addition of two numbers, I have to write in 19 lines, right? The alternative for this is our Python. Addition of two numbers is this much. 19 lines code is easy, or this is easy. Same logic. Two numbers I need to add. I've written in Java, I've written in Python. You still need an example that Python is better than Java? Yes?
No.
No.
Yes.
A simple example, adding two numbers. This is a logic. Okay. Now, the problem with Java is, I don't know what is this public. I don't know what is this util scanner. And this is the name of the function. I know public static void. I don't know what is this main. And what this open bracket, close bracket, open bracket, close bracket. Sometimes if I miss this, it will throw error because open brackets and close brackets itself, I used to do a lot of mistakes. Day one of my career, I was put into a Java project as a fresher. Lot of struggle. At one point of time, I thought of even quitting the IT. That type of stress. Small mistake you have to waste for one day. A lot of times in my career, with this syntax, brackets and all, I have wasted a lot of time. So one of the biggest problem in Java is brackets. One of the biggest problem in Java is brackets. You have to open the equal number of brackets and you have to close the equal number of brackets. And this is the biggest hurdle in order to write our Java code. And to overcome all this, we have Python, you need not even write a single bracket. You need not even write a single bracket. Okay. Now, the same requirement, what if I need in Java? Let's see how much of efforts is required. Let's see how much of efforts is required. I'm asking something, it is giving me something. Let's see. Sure, here is a Java code. It's only giving a piece of code. So let's see, I need a full code in Java. Okay. Now this is a full code in Java. Okay. What I want to know whether the student is pass or fail. You'll be giving the marks and it will tell you whether it's pass or fail. In order to just tell you whether pass or fail, I'm accepting the marks. I'm checking if marks is greater than or less than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 opening brackets, 4 closing brackets. Forget about all the other code. First of all, I don't understand what is a scanner, what is this main, void, static, public. I know only public people, but I don't know all this. I don't know what is this ARGS and all this scanner int, all this. First of all, it's complex. Forget about all that. Focus only on if condition. The same if condition, if marks is greater than 35, you have to display it as pass, right? If the marks is less than 35, it should be fail. So ideally speaking, logically, this is the answer. This is a piece of the code. This bracket is for this. This bracket is for this. So this bracket is for this. This bracket is for this. So ideally, this is a logic. This is a logic in Java. This is a logic in Java. Just 2 statements, I have to write 4 brackets. The most annoying thing in Java is brackets. Well, the person who has written this Java Python code, we need to really thank him. You know why? The way he has helped us is no brackets. Simply go and write this. This is a code in Python. If this is a code in Java, this is a code in Python. Such a easy code. But one thing which you need to remember is, though they are removing one thing, they are trying to add one thing in your code. In Java, you have to handle with brackets. If you don't write brackets, you will face challenges. Your code will never execute if it is in Java. Your Java first thing is brackets, brackets, brackets. But in Python, you need not write brackets. You need not write brackets. But one thing you need to focus is, you need to focus on indentation. You need to focus on indentation. Now, what is this indentation? What is this indentation? So when comes to Java, the open bracket says that it's a condition. The open bracket says it's a condition. The closing says that it's a end of the condition, right? Similarly, the next open bracket, it's actually a condition start and here the condition end. But when coming to Python, I will be knowing that means the computer will know that when the actual logic starts, it's all because of the indentation. What is this indentation is? Indentation is nothing but space. Indentation is nothing but space. If you go and write like this, if a is greater than 35, print statement, else, and you go and write this will fail. It is saying that expected an indentation block. So it is not understanding that where is the condition. Though I have removed the concept of brackets in Python, the next thing is you have to maintain is indentation. Indentation is a space from where I need to execute my code. So what I need to do, simply you go and write here. After writing colon, if you just put enter, it will tell you where you need to write. The cursor is pointing to you where you need to write. From there only, if you have to write, only then the code will understand, yes, this is a logic. So that is one thing which you need to understand. So it's actually pointing exactly here. I will have to go and write till here. I have to go and write here. So now else is there. So after else, if I go and enter, I have to write here. Why are you writing here? If you write here, it will not understand. You have to write till the cursor. Even if you write one step forward, it may not work. One step backward, it will not work. Right? It will also show some notification as well. Exactly, it should be the that position. This is called indentation. So based on the indentation only, the code will execute. Nowhere open brackets, close brackets, nothing. Just try to give indentation. Okay. Now let's go and execute now. Marks is 31. So the student is failed. Marks is 37 or 38. The student is pass. Right? So now again, if I want to do for another student, again the same challenge. Copy it, paste it here. 99. The student is pass. Again, I have to do for 74. Again, the student is pass. Again, take it as 19. And the student is failed. So like this, I cannot keep on writing, right? So what I will do, carefully understand. Why can't automate it? Why can't I automate it? So to automate, what I will do, DEF I will do. DEF I'll do. What is DEF? Defining. And I'll say student result. Student result. Okay. So student result, I will go and send as A. I'll go and send as A. Since it's something which I'm writing, I have to write a logic and I will go and write a colon. Come here. I'll simply copy this. And I'll go and paste it here. And I'll say this is the function. Okay. Now, actually, this should be small a. And now you should also understand that whenever I am writing like this, I need to make sure that I also give you in the very simple function. The function name is students result A, and I'm writing code. If A is greater than 35, print student is pass, else student is failed. I'll go and run this. Now again, indentation issue. So let me go and enter. It should come here. Okay, for this, actually it was indentation was here because I've started here, right? But here I have not started here. I've started with a gap. So the indentation will come here. Just go and paste it here, and else will come here. And for the print, you have to write from here. This is called indentation. A couple of days you will get used to the indentation. Maybe today you may find it difficult. Where should I start? Where to end? But the good thing about this is you need not write brackets. The main problem that we had with Java is brackets. That brackets they have removed, but ideally they have given some of the indentation. Indentation means a proper spacing and organizing it. Okay. Now this logic is implemented. I need to check the student results. Simply I'll go here, send the marks 77. The student is pass. Simply go and send the marks 55. The student is pass. Simply go and send the marks to be 31. The student is failed. And simply go and send the marks to be 80, 80 or 16. The student is failed. What I've done, I have simply sending the marks. I can get it. I have written the complete logic within the function. So two things which you have seen is today what we have seen is how to define a function and how to define a if condition. Please note this. This is an actual logic. I've written. And if you observe carefully, line number 1, line number 2, line number 4, observe carefully. If you're writing any logic, it should be followed by colon. It's a mandatory. First line define student. That means whatever I'm going to write, it's going to be logic. So colon is must. Next, if condition. So if A is greater than 35, next is the logic. I have to write colon. You have to write colon. There is no escaping from this. And don't ask me why. It's a syntax. You have to follow the rules and regulations. And again, in the line number 4, you have to write the colon. The reason is, rather than giving the brackets, here it is showing that, boss, after indentation, after that colon, whatever I'm writing, it's a logic. So please understand this. That is how you are writing. So you always have to give after any function or any condition, you have to give the colon and then followed by the indentation. So I'm defining here. So this gap is necessary and I'm writing the logic. So this gap is necessary and I'm writing else. This gap is necessary. So this is how you have to write. So please make sure that Python, the other name of Python, you have to remember is indentation. It has to be written indentation. If it is all other code, see, I would say that in Java, there's one advantage. Okay, there's one advantage in Java. What I can do is I can write like this. In Java, I can write like this. Now you may argue with me. Python is 3 lines, whereas Java is 1 line, right? You can write like this. In Java, it will work. Why it will work? Because it is taking the brackets into consideration. So in Java, you even write it in 1 line, it will work. But that doesn't mean that 200 lines, I can put it in 1 line. It becomes complex to understand. End of the day, what is required? The readability is important. In Java, it will work if you're writing in 1 line. Though 100 lines of code, I can put it in a 1 line. Maybe I have to keep on dragging, and I have to go here. It will work because here the logics are identified with the brackets. But here no brackets. You have to follow the indentation. In Python, if you're trying to write in a single line, it will not work because here the importance is given to the indentation. Okay, now this is the logic. Now let's go to the what we have done. I need to write whether the student is pass, fail, or topper. Okay, I need to write whether the student is top, topper, fail, or pass. Now 3 conditions I have to write. Now listen carefully. If A is less than 35, print the student is failed. Okay, now else if, right? I have to write a else if. That means second condition, right? Now Python is actually a bit lazy, right? In terms of else if, what they have done, they will actually write it called elif. They'll call elif. A greater than or equal to 35 and A less than or equal to 74, print the student is pass, average student, right? Average student. The student is pass, but he's an average student. Okay, now last is else. If not this condition, then you have to write, you need not write the other condition that it has to be greater than 74, not required. You can simply go and write the student is topper. Anything above 74, I'll put it as topper. Let's make it as 80. So anyone who is above 80, let's go and make it as topper. Now let's go and execute it. Now if you go and see, I'll go and send the logic here. I'll write A equal to 74. So what will happen? The answer will come as the student is pass. The student is pass. Okay, so let's see that if the answer is correct. Yes, the student is pass. Let's make it 85. So the answer should come as the student is topper. The student is topper. Let's make it 32. the student is failed. Now, if I want to put everything into a logic, I'll simply put define topper check or results check, open bracket, pass A, and just it has to follow the indentation. So you have to write from here. This one. You have to write from here. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Now, whatever you send, it will work. For example, I'm sending marks equal to 33. The student is failed. The marks equal to 54. The student is passed, average student. If the marks is 90, the student is topper. Now, 3 condition I've added. Basically, if you say in Java, right? In Java, it will be else if. Else if. But what these people have done, from else if they have taken EL, from IF they have taken IF, and they have added elif. Shortcuts. Known to be shortcuts. So that's why it is elif. Elif is nothing but else if. If marks is less than 35, fail. Else, if A is greater than 35 and A is less than 80, pass. Else, the student is topper. This is how you can write for 3 conditions. Most of the time, you may have to use a if conditions depending on the use case. Is it clear? The main thing what we have to remember today is indentation. Indentation is very, very important. Start of the class, we started with a wishing many people, and we also did the addition of two numbers, which basically I was writing every now and then. So in order to overcome that, yesterday we learned about variables. Today we are learning about functions. What are those functions? Something which makes your work easier. Write the logic once, read as many times as possible. And that is why I've written logic. And then you pass the name, automatically that name will be displayed. And I've also done for this addition. So everything has to end with colon. If it's a function, if it's if condition, whatever it has to end with colon. So indentation is very important here. So if I simply go and write DEF, define function name, parameters, x equal to x plus y and z, and you simply call that, it will work. And then we wanted to make it a bit more complex. This variable is there. For this variable, I need to check whether whether is pass or fail. Okay, and for that, what I have done, I'm just taking greater than 35. If it is pass, print, else it is fail. Indentation, indentation, indentation. Today night at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I'm going to call you people randomly and I'm going to ask, what is a synonym of Python? You have to tell me indentation. You should never forget this. Always indentation plays a major role while writing the code. No more brackets, no more flower brackets, opening bracket, closing bracket, nothing. Just leave it with respect to Java only. In Python, everything comes with indentation. Whomever I call, you have to tell me how to write the code. Okay. So then to make it even better, I have put that logic in the function, and to make it even more complex, I have done with 3 conditions. Less than 35, one represent. 35 to 70 or 80, another print. And anything other than 75, I have to give as a topper. These are the things which we have covered today at the basic level. Are we good? One simple Java code to just add 2 numbers. See how much of circus I need to do. This maybe my the first manager of mine is not seeing this video. I was actually frustrated to leave IT just because of this coding. That much of frustration. 2014, when I started my career, I was writing the code in Java. The way I got frustrated, I thought this is not at all my cup of tea. Let's go and do some business, and nowhere this will suit me because I have to write a code. 2 numbers addition, you have to write 20 lines. Who will do it? Who will do it? And now Python, 4 lines, I can do it. So be ready to learn Python because it's making your work easier. Just a simple addition. I have written in a simple 3 lines, and I can go and access it as many times as possible. Okay. With that, it's again a basic level. Let's continue with an advanced Python from tomorrow. Okay. We'll stop here.